Hey guys, let's talk about not this. These the Shinras. They're a new plant archetype, and they're really cool. Let's get on talk about them. So first and certainly not least, we got the Shinra Spirit Tree Regia, or Shinra no Senju Regia, or whatever he's gonna be here. They're all probably gonna be something completely different. We don't even know if they're gonna be called Shinras here. But once per turn, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant type monster, you send it to the graveyard and you draw a card. Otherwise, you place it on the bottom of your deck. And if he's revealed from the deck and sent to the graveyard, you can look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and return them in any order. And of course, that works with the other ones. Tree Fender Orc, I'm going to summarize them from here on. Once per turn, he can look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and any plants are sent to your grave and the rest go to the bottom. And when he's sent from the deck, when he's revealed from the deck and sent to the grave, he lets you take one of your Shinra monsters and put it on top of your deck from your graveyard. Night Sisyphus, in my opinion, probably the weakest link. Play 0 to 3 depending on your preference. When he's normal summoned, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a plant, send it to your grave, yada yada yada. You're starting to get the idea with showing things on top of your deck. And if he's sent from the deck to the grave by one of these effects, you get to choose a Shinra card in your deck and put it on top of your deck. Shinra Leaf Low. When you normal it, you reveal to send the plants, rest go to the deck, blah blah blah. And if it is revealed, you get to pop a monster. Shinra Stoolet is when he's flipped face up, you reveal the top 5 and any plants go to the graveyard. So he's definitely really good at triggering the other guy's effects, and if he's sent from the deck to the grave by one of these effects, then you get to pop a spell or trap card. And finally, there's, for the main deck, there's Sharina, for the main deck monsters rather, there's, how do you pronounce that? Shinra no Mibari Peas, and the card is being called Shinra Peacekeeper by many English-speaking cards, which I think is a fantastic pun. When he's normal or special summoned, so this is one of the ones that activates when he's special summoned. The other 2 are that activate at on summon or when they're normal summoned, when they're flip summoned, and the other ones are once per turn. When he's normal or special summoned, you reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a plant, send to the grave. If it's not, to the bottom. But if he's sent from the deck to the grave by one of these effects, you can special summon a level 4 or lower plant from your graveyard, and you can only use him once per turn. They have an extra deck boss. This guy, once per turn, you can declare a card name, reveal the top card of your deck, and if it is the discarded card, you add it to your, or if it's the declared card, you add it to your hand. Otherwise, you send that card to the graveyard. If a card is sent from the deck to the graveyard by a card effect, you can detach one XYZ material from the card and target one card of the field and place it on the top or bottom of the deck. So he's kind of like a super big, bootied Chidori, Lightning Chidori on steroids. And it triggers these guys, it potentially gives you draws, it does lots of good things. It's good. And then finally they have a spell, a field spell, Shinra Sacred Shinra Peak rather. You can send a plant type monster you control or from your hand to the graveyard and choose a Shinra monster from your deck and place it on top of your deck. You can only use the effect once per turn, and once per turn during your opponent's end phase, you can reveal the top card of your deck, and if it's a plant monster, send it to the graveyard, otherwise place it on the bottom. So basically, you can stack your Shinras with this card, and during each of your opponent's end phases, they trigger. So you don't have to worry about drawing them, unless, of course, they pop your Sacred Shinra Peak, in which case you're going to draw them. So that's obviously a bit of a drawback of this field spell, but that's what you get for getting to control your top deck, I suppose. And there's Shinra's Blessing. You return 1 card from your hand, either to the top or bottom of the deck, then special summon a Shinra monster from your graveyard, and it's unaffected by other card effects. And during the end phase, you return that monster to the top or bottom of the deck. So this is definitely good for pushing. I actually only play 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at my Shinra deck. Damn, I have a lot of decks. Nope, that's Tidal Atlanteans. JK. Shinra. And yeah, I'm not really going to talk about it right now because that's not what I'm here to do. Let's get some replays going. File manager, replays. Let's go to the 11s. That is Dragon Rulers. I do not want to watch Dragon Rulers right now. So I've got a couple of them. And let's get going. You can see in this replay I'm playing Cyber Dark build. So right now I'm mostly playing the replays because I'm trying to kind of show you the archetype in action rather than because I think that I play really competitive or good games. So this is just kind of the archetype doing its thing. So I summoned Leaflow, look at the top two, milled Peacekeeper, and Peacekeeper summoned himself, which is really nice because a lot of cards which target things in the grave when they go to the grave target things except for themselves, like Fabled Cruise, or another card that does something like that might be, I don't have one off the top of my head, I'm sorry, my example is so obscure, but for me it's very relevant because I played Fabled. So here's that Mirror Force, just giving him the draws because I don't care. For the most part, I saw this guy's kind of questionable mills, and I was just like, whatever. I'm going to just give him the draw because I don't think he's playing anything that threatening. And unfortunately, I don't think that I did a whole lot during this game. I did win it. Let's see. But this guy didn't really do a whole lot either. And you can see my hand's not super exciting, but I'm going to normal summon the Spirit Tree, which is something I have since almost never done. But whatever, it happened. Normaled the Spirit Tree and milled a Lone Fire to draw a card and drew another Shinra monster, the Stoolette. And Stoolette really gets things going. It's kind of like it's kind of a morphing jar, for lack of a better word. Well, it doesn't really affect your hand size, so it's not quite like that, but it checks the top 5, so that is definitely really good. So here we go, draw the breakthrough. This turn is relatively short. Tried to get an extra draw with the dude, but ended up just revealing a non-plant. And that happens when you don't have the field spell out to control your top deck. But it is what it is. There's no sense in not trying. The best part about this deck is if you miss with your Shinra effects, you don't get punished by milling non-Shinras, generally speaking. Unless you play some non-Shinra techs. Like, I've seen some people playing Magical Merchant. I've seen some people playing whatever. Cards that would send from the deck to the grave that are not Shinras. So here comes this guy, Stoolette. I'm going to mill some plants. Looks like I hit a Spore and nothing else. Oh, a Spore and a Leaflow, actually. And the Leaflow is going to let me pop a monster. Now, in theory, I get to put the cards on bottom of the deck in any order, but I was just click, 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 1, 2, 3, put them back in the deck because I didn't believe that it was going to matter what order they were in at the bottom. Yes, use the tree effect, revealed Dandelion, get my tokens and a draw. Pretty excited about that, right? I mean, in all honesty, this is not a very good highlight of this deck. And basically, this replay just kind of went like this. He summons this, and I make a Catastor with the Spore, bringing it out as a level 4, and smack into it because it's treated as an Earth, and attack for game, and that's it. So, let's move on. Ninjas! Mist Valley Ninjas. Swap. Or whatever this was. I thought it was Mist Valley Ninjas. No. Maybe not. I feel like he summons a ninja monster on like turn 3. No. I saved it as ninja. So we'll see what's going on here. I don't know really what this guy had going on. And pop the 6th Sense, get 5. That is obviously pretty good. Play the Sacred Shinra Peak, and for whatever reason, play MST afterwards instead of playing it first to protect myself from a potential set MST. But whatever. Use the Peak to put the Searcher on top. Use Miracle Fertilizer to get my tree. My tree mills the Searcher, and I'm going to draw a card. And the Searcher is going to change my top deck, so that way I still mill something I want to mill with the Peak. And I'll let this dude go. There's the ninjas. And this is basically the main play combo, is the field spell and your tree. Change your top deck with your field spell, and then you use your top deck with the tree and draw a card. It's pretty awesome when you get it working. Like here, I changed the top deck to the one where you mill it, you destroy a spell. So next turn, when the peak hits again, I am going to go ahead and pop a spell. Oh, actually, I'm going to play the tree and pop that, because I knew it was the transformation thing. I was trying to avoid Gores. Then Orc checks the top 3, and I get a Dandelion hit, which is obviously fun for everyone, and by everyone I mean just for me. And this guy, his hand is pretty terrible, although he does top deck a Hanzo, and I only know he top decks it because I know he played it next turn, he doesn't have it now. So this guy rips like a beast. Oh, he top decked Reinforcement, but that's basically a Hanzo, or it becomes one. And then he set a card because, I don't know, and he gave up. And then I got 2 other replays. The one versus whatever this is, I stomped it into the ground. I'm just keeping the replays going so you can kind of see the deck move. And admittedly, this is not the most competitive build. I've seen some screenshots of other people's build where they are turn 1 making synchros out the ass, and maybe rank 8s also. Although I do play, you know, full extra deck. I just don't seem to be using it as much. So would I call this build super competitive? Probably not. But can Shinra be competitive? Absolutely, I believe so. Especially considering that when we get them, it'll be January, so the meta context will probably be a lot different. And it's interesting that there's another deck that's so reliant on the field spell. I'm just going to start smacking things. Dust Tornado goes in on me. Makes me sad. Spear Cretin. Oh no. That's okay. I'm going to get my tree. Bitches don't know about my tree. That is not a plant. Put it on the bottom. So I'd say this is a pretty good field. I got Stardust, the tree, Bottomless, and Threat. And this guy's got Morphing Jar, which he's going to give me 5 cards with when I had 1. But, like I said, just showing you the mechanics of the deck. I wish I could have gotten matchups with something that was at least a little bit relevant, but I was trying to make this video, and this is kind of what I got to play against. with the kind of shitty build that I came up with. Well, I guess it's not too bad because I'm doing the combos with it. Miracle Fertilizer. This card is the nuts in this deck. The nuts. Get some draws going. Here comes number 107, boy. Fragrant Storm. Mainly I like the Fragrant Storm Dandelion. There was one time that my opponent Monster Reborn one of my monsters, so I used Fragrant Storm to destroy it and draw a card, because it just says a plant on the field, which means that Fragrant Storm is going to be amazing in the mirror match, because I'll just be like, tribute your monster and draw a card. Is that fine? Now here's a part where I don't know why I didn't like Threatening Roar, because I just let myself get Exploder Dragoned. But because Stardust was negated by Tachyon Dragon. It happens. And then that Peak mills that Rose Whip. I had a game against Chainburn that didn't save, where that random Rose Whip that I teched because I wanted to play a level 3 Earth Tuner, and not even because of its effect, destroyed him because he could only play one spell or trap per turn, and he was trying to play Chainburn. So I was just had that Rose Whip like poke for 400 haters. Eventually turned it to defense. He did tribute it for Lava Golem at one point, but it came back the next turn with Miracle Fertilizer. So, as it turns out, Naturio Rose Whip, really good against Chainburn, as you would probably expect. And at this point, I mean, I've got so much advantage. Basically, I mean, this is just another one of those economics decks where, like, look at me, I've got more cards than you, so I probably win, statistically speaking. Draw that Mirror Force. Not that it's going to do me a whole lot of good. Use Sacred Peak to put Stoolette on the top. Plan on using it with the tree. I like that the tree is a fire type. Trees! Yeah. And then the final duel that I have is against some unlimited shenanigans. Because I just clicked in. I guess I wasn't paying enough attention. I could have sworn that it said TCG list, but obviously not, because look at this guy's hand. Swap back. This guy actually played 3 Graceful Charities on either his first turn or within the first 2 turns. It was ridiculous. So obviously within the first 2 turns because he didn't play the third one. The way that I win, I'd rather not spoil it, but it's very funny. And this dude is playing his traditional shit. See, there's that extra Graceful Charity. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Graceful Charity 3 times in a row, like a boss. Yes, I will take 1,000 life points. And he draws a replacement Sangan, because this isn't even traditional. This is just unlimited. 3 of anything. And here I am with a deck that conforms to the list, thinking like, oh shit, this might be an issue. He judges my 6th sense, but I don't care because I really just wanted to flip Stoolette and mill 5. Or check 5, rather. Check 5, boy! Stoolette looks so cool, fire monster and shit. Showing this guy some plants. I'm like, look at these plants. So then, tree and the knight activate. I guess the knight is on Chainlink too. And I'm going to put my field spell on top of my deck, and then the tree lets me rearrange the top 3 cards of my deck. So I activate the Fragrant Storm, and he bribes it. And I'm just like, oh, okay. So I was gonna draw this plant and then draw the field spell, but it's okay, because I summon Rose Whip and say, bitch, you getting Rose Whipped? Except for that, I don't think that that was actually an issue for him, because he only has one Speller Trap that he could have played. Here comes that Cyber Jar. Ugh, it's gross. This guy has one turn that's actually really, really explosive. This might be it. It's probably his next turn. I don't know. Yeah, I think it was after he got the Morphing Jar off, which I let him do, which was dumb. That Cyber Jar. Cards in hand. Oh, it was his turn, because I remember him doing Painful Choice, and I gave him the Destiny Hero Disc Commander, but he had that set called the Haunted, and after putting 2 Demox in his grave and 2 Monster Reborns, that was scary to know that he was about to just go on a Monster Reborning spree. And having experienced it firsthand lets me know that this combo was obviously bullshit back in the day. It's like, here comes my Monster Reborn. Here comes my Premature Burial. Now I have 3 Demox. But my Threatening Roar is gonna save my ass. At which point, I will turn this around on him. Yes, take my tree. See if I care. This is the best part right here. I'm gonna Fragrant Storm and destroy the tree because it's a plant on either side of the field. Pop that tree. Give me a draw. Comes Leaf Low. Check 2. This is such a lucky check right here. All skill guys. Watch this blind MST. Blind Stoolette, rather. Hit a Judgment. Boss. Flip Spore and make a Black Rose. Look at this dude. Chaining his offering. Nah, bro. Here comes the Shinra Peak. Let's change that top deck. And I end my turn, because I can't use the fertilizers because I normaled this turn. And they only work if you did not normal. And here he goes again. But it's okay, because I have 10,000 life points and he can't OTK me with that few cards. And the Leaf Low getting in there and destroying a Sangan, which I did not know was a Sangan in my defense. But that's what I had set up on the peak anyways. It was either that or I was going to draw it. And I certainly did not want to draw it. That ultimate offering got really annoying. So I'm going to put the mushroom on top of my deck. Go get the tree! The tree! Look at his face. Look at his huge chin. Big thing on his forehead. Like, what's up? I'm a tree. I'm fire type. Don't question it. Pop a Judgment again. This dude send Judgment when he should not. Or misplaying on his Judgment at the very least. Offering to set Morphing Jar. That was really frustrating. And then he offers to set another card. So here comes Morphing Jar. Just like, god damn it. Cease that activity. Space that ultimate offering, because I'm afraid that bad things could happen. I should have known to save it for a premature burial, though. But he tried to use the offering to set something right then and there, and obviously he would have set that Cyber Jar. As you can see, both of our decks are getting pretty small, and this guy is drawing with impunity. It's down to 3 cards in his deck, so I don't think that he even would have thought they had any realistic chance of winning. Because he had 3 cards in his deck to my 9, and it wasn't getting any better for him. So now the peak in the tree, going to work. Except for I soon find that there are actually almost no Shinras left in my deck. So I definitely need to find a way to recycle them. I might play a Transmigration Prophecy, but that's not going to be enough to really do it. I know that my copy plant could copy Nightsus, and I could make a rank 4 Gemnite Pearl, Gemnite, not even Gemnite, Daigusto Emerald, and shuffle some back. That might be a good option. But generally, my main issue with the deck was I found that I was just running out of things. And the extra deck is too small. I cannot fit all the things that I want in it. I want like a 30 card extra deck. Wouldn't that be amazing? Error occurs. That's not actually what happened in the replay. So I don't know what's going on there. But you saw that the error occurs. What really happened is I ran over what turned out to be a Cyber Jar, and an error did occur because he had 3 cards left in his deck and he didn't lose right there. It just only checked the 3, and he drew all of them because there was no monsters among them. And then I just ended my turn and he lost because he couldn't draw. But that is an error. He should have lost right then and there. And I guess that fucks up the Yu-Gi-Oh! Replay thingy if you break game mechanics like that. So this has been a 30-minute video almost on Shinras, and that is ridiculous. So I'm going to end that right now, and peace.